What is up, good people? Jungle Inc. here. Today, we got some huge news about XRP you don't want to miss. We're talking about Robinhood finally listing XRP, potential SEC and Ripple settlement, and some critical behind-the-scenes updates on the XRP ledger itself. So let's break it down. All right, the big news today. Robinhood has officially listed XRP, but there is a catch. I ran the story out earlier on X. I didn't know all the details. Currently, this is only available to users in the European Union. Now, this is still a huge step forward, but we have to ask ourselves, what does this mean for XRP? What does this mean for XRP in the global markets, especially in the United States? Regulatory clarity around XRP is growing. Could global access be next? So important for a global financial system to include XRP, the greatest digital asset, the greatest cryptocurrency for payments today. This move by Robinhood, well, it signals that platforms are seeing growth and demand for XRP. And it's all happening while we watch the regulatory landscape shift. Could Robinhood be waiting for the dust to settle on Ripple versus the SEC case before offering XRP to American users? I think it's only a matter of time before we see XRP trading again in the United States and really worldwide on every platform. But with this move, Europe, they get first crack. Keep an eye out though, folks. Once the US markets opens up, it could send XRP soaring. These are, markets that have not had access to XRP in the past. Huge user bases. They're going to like what they see out of XRP. I think it really may drive value as we go forward. Now, I posted about this on X earlier. My final prediction. I'm an outlier here, but I believe the SEC and Ripple are inching towards a settlement. Now, here's this scenario that I'm seeing unfold. Ripple may agree to alter their on-demand liquidity, their ODL operations, and source XRP strictly from the secondary market. Remember, this is their core business, Ripple's core business. And that was one of the big question marks in the judge's ruling. What was wrong with on-demand liquidity that made it a securities offering, and how did they fix things? She's left some room here for the SEC and for Ripple to come to some sort of agreement. And I see some wiggle room here to agree that when they're doing on-demand liquidity, they're going to source XRP directly from the secondary market as the judge had ruled is fully compliant, instead of selling from their old holdings directly. Instead of taking XRP from their wallets and using their assets for customer payments, just source it from the secondary market as the service was originally pitched to us anyway. This would avoid any potential security violations while still allowing Ripple to operate ODL at full scale. I could see them also including clauses for RLUSD, Ripple stablecoin. This is going to be a big one, to ensure it also avoids any securities classification. Stablecoins generally are not labeled securities, but you have to be so close here. We know the SEC tries to claim all sorts of things. And so if Ripple can get in clear language here what they can and can't do with that digital asset, with that crypto asset, I think it's going to be a huge win for them. And let's not forget for the SEC, they can also claim a big victory here by settling. They might shift focus, to exchanges, asserting that, XRP itself wasn't inherently a security, but Ripple sure sold it as a securities offering, as ruled by the judge. Take your wins. Don't kick it up to the next level here and possibly lose some of that authority. And use that same reasoning as they're going after Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance. Maybe the coins themselves aren't securities inherently, which I believe is what the law today states. But you know what? They sure can be sold as a securities offering, as we saw with Ripple, $125 million fines. Take your win there and apply it towards those really much larger cases that are about a lot more than a singular asset. I expect the SEC to take all those resources, all of that time and allocate it fully to these exchange cases. There's not much more you can squeeze out of Ripple, but they can try to replicate these tactics. What they were successful with in that court case versus Ripple. They had some success here, tried to expand it for really the much more important legal issues, Coinbase, Binance, and Kraken. Could work. And further, you're not just accepting what the judge gives to you. You are doing your job as a regulator. You are regulating, giving this space more clarity, working a deal to bring this to a close with Ripple. It's not perfect for either side. Can you draft something up that Ripple can live with and the SEC can build off of? They can't torpedo their other active cases, but if they could build off of this, we might have a chance here. Now look, this is just my speculation, but if we read between the lines, Ripple rebranding on-demand liquidity. Now they're just Ripple payments. It's quite agnostic. It's quite generic. It's not promoting the usage of XRP. The focus of shifting development efforts. Things like now we need smart contracts, EVM sidechain, making XRP a hub of trading. They're not pitching, their payment services. They're pitching the capabilities of the XRP ledger. And then lastly, when you had this agreement over those escrow funds where they both agreed, fine, put it over here. You don't have to pay the day. We'll pay down the road. It seems like they're working together on something here. Because otherwise, the SEC probably would have fought Ripple and said, you need to pay now. It's kind of a gesture of goodwill by both sides. Ripple's putting the money up. The SEC's saying, fine, keep it in a holding account while we discuss. I'm reading the tea leaves a little bit here, but I may not be off. We'll see. Remember, the big legal minds, your Mark Fagels, your attorney Bills, they believe that this thing's going to go to appeal. We'll see how it plays out. Or at least that, it'll just end with no settlement, no agreements, and we just move on. Only time will tell. But I'm telling you, I think there's a chance for a settlement here. It makes sense for both sides. And actually, now that I think about this, I want to dig a little bit deeper into this. Why would the SEC and Ripple even want to settle? What's in it for either side? Let's really talk about this because it's a question I get reoccurring. For Ripple, ODL being labeled as an unregistered security offering, it's a big problem. It's their core business. It's what they do. They send payments using digital assets. Not being sure what was wrong with ODL to begin with and how to proceed forward, that's kind of killer in a lot of ways. If they could secure some kind of agreement, if a settlement could clearly define what's compliant for their payment business, it would give them clarity and safety they need to continue ODL operations without fear of future regulatory action. And it would also give a lot of comfort to their customers out there that are using their system. They know the SEC is not going to circle back around. And on the other hand, the SEC, they could use a settlement as a way to exert additional regulatory influence beyond just this case. Beyond what the judge gave them, they could extract a little bit more. It gives them leverage, not only Ripple, but also over stablecoins. If they could get, some sort of statements in here, what they feel is compliant, what Ripple will agree to. And this would apply to RLUSD, which is going to be very important for Ripple going forward. We know the SEC is focused on controlling how these assets evolve, and a settlement could give them additional stipulations on what's compliant and what isn't. They ain't going to get everything they want, but maybe they could get a few more things. Now look, the penalties, they're already set. But it's still unresolved. There's aspects of this case, and a settlement can tie everything up nicely and prevent a prolonged legal battle that's not really good for either side. That both sides have a lot to lose here. Don't count out the possibility of a settlement. That's what I'm saying. Even if most of the legal experts say it's unlikely, they know this is what they do for a job, but I'm telling you, it's not out of the question. And I'm thinking it's going to happen. Let me know down below what you think, though. What's your opinion? Now, let's switch gears here a little bit for a second and talk about a major issue that could have impacted the XRP ledger in a significant way and impacted users. A critical problem with full history servers on the XRP ledger. This was reported by Dr. Branson. These haven't been merged into the code for 22 days. This delay could have seriously affected users, and we were right on the edge of a major issue here. But luckily, team at XRPL Labs, led by Mr. Wynn himself and Richard Holland, came through with a custom solution to patch the problem. These people do great work. We need to recognize what they do on the XRP ledger to keep XRP safe, to keep the XRP ledger running. Absolutely massive. Now, this might sound technical, but here's why it matters. Full history servers are critical. Everyone, throws a fuss about those first few ledgers that are missing before anyone was doing any activity on the ledger. What happens if we lost some of the history of this chain? It would be a catastrophe here. This was a serious close call. The usual suspects stepped up and saved the day. So what does everyone out there think? Well, Ripple and the SEC, do you think there's a chance at a settlement? We've been over this 1,000 times. I've called for settlements between Ripple and the SEC, and I've been wrong every time. What do you think, though? Is this our moment here? Does it make sense? What does the Robinhood listing in Europe mean for XRP's future? I think my buddy Billy the XRP Cowboy said it the best. This is how sophisticated entities within cryptocurrencies, how they view XRP's future, its compliance. I think it's pretty bullish, to be honest with you here. What about, the fact that the ledger could have had a catastrophic issue? Thanks to XRPL Labs, big thanks to Wynn and Holland out there for saving the day. Could this be an issue down the road? Might we have a crash because there's not enough funding going to the infrastructure? We all want new features, the fancy things that are going to bring value to the XRP ledger, but much of XRP's value is in its stability, in the fact you can count on it. Maybe we need more funding and attention going to what really makes XRP great and not the shiniest, newest thing. Just something to think about. Drop your comments below. Don't forget, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that button. Make sure you stay up to date. Hit the little bell there so you get the latest XRP and crypto news. As always, the revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.